Hello everyone, my name is Masha, and today I'm going to teach you how to make this distorted chevron bracelet. So if you're watching this video close to the release date, there is currently a competition going on where you can actually win this bracelet. This bracelet will be randomly assigned to one person who entered my competition, and if you want to know more about the rules, I'll leave a link in the description to the video where I explain all of them. Before we start, I want to shout out my top patrons, who are Lisa and Sunshine. Thank you very much for your support, I really do appreciate it. And of course this is completely optional, but if you guys also want to become a patron, there is a link in the description where you can sign up. Becoming a patron is the best way to support this channel and is also a great way to get exclusive perks, like a patron-only bracelet competition. But for now, let's get into the tutorial. So while this is a pretty easy bracelet and this tutorial is suitable for beginners, I do expect that you already know how to make the basic knots and that you already know how to make basic loops. If you don't, I have separate tutorials on both of these topics and they're going to be linked in the card and in the description down below, so you can check them out and then return to this video. So for my bracelet, I decided to go with sort of two gradients, and I've got 4 colors in the brown gradient and 4 colors in the sort of teal area. I cut each of the strings to be about 2 meters long. I then folded them so each of these strings ended up being 1 meter long. I decided to go with a loop for this bracelet and I made it in this beautiful brown color. I do, however, want to make a teardrop for this loop, so I'm going to quickly explain how I'm going to do that, but again, if you want a more detailed approach, I have a separate tutorial on teardrop loops in the card and in the description down below. So I want to start my bracelet off with the brown gradient. So I'm going to pick out the first color that I want for my brown gradient, which is this beautiful brown color, and I'm going to go with a forward-backward knot onto the entire strand for the teardrop effect. I'm now going to pick out the next color that I want for the brown gradient, which for me is this one. I'm going to leave out this darker brown string off to the side, and I'm going to make a forward-backward knot onto this entire strand with the next string. Grabbing the next color, which is this one for me, I'm going to do the same thing, forward-backward knot onto the entire strand to create the teardrop effect. And again, I'm going to do a forward-backward knot with the next string that I want in my gradient. As you've noticed, every time I do a forward-backward knot, I'm leaving out the strings that I've already made knots with. I am now onto the next color gradient, and for this color gradient, I want it to contrast the previous one. So I finished off with the brown one with the lighter color on the edge. I now want to contrast that with going into a darker color. So I'm going to grab the darkest color here in my gradient, and I'm going to go with a forward-backward knot onto the remaining strand. I'm going to continue doing this, doing forward-backward knots onto the strand with each of the colors of the gradient in the order that I want them to appear in my bracelet until I reach the end. There we go, so we did the teardrop for the left half of our bracelet. We're now going to focus on the right half, and we're going to be doing the exact same thing as we did on the left, except with backward-forward knots. So it's going to be the exact same order as we did on the left, but with backward-forward knots. So I'm going to fast-forward this part because it's literally the exact same thing. So now that the right half of our teardrop is also complete, we're going to connect the two by making a knot between these two strings. Here we're going to be very careful because this is a little bit tricky. So I've finished my teardrop loop, so I'm ready to go into making the bracelet now. Everything before now was just about the closure, about the teardrop loop. After this point, it's about the bracelet. So you can do whatever you want and start this tutorial now. So we're going to take the outermost string, which is this one for me. Essentially, this bracelet is just a chevron. So if you know how to do the basic chevron, you're going to be good. We're going to start by separating 2 more threads. So the outer outermost string and 2 more threads, and we're going to be doing forward knots with this outermost string onto each of these threads. So a forward knot onto the first thread here, and onto the second thread here. The next thread that we have here, we're going to be actually doing a backward knot. So we're going to be doing a backward knot onto this thread here. Now going forward, we're separating 3 more threads, and we're going to be doing forward knot onto these 3 threads.
We're good.
Then this next thread, we're going to be doing a backward knot. Now we're going to leave this entire part off to the side. We're going to focus on the right side, and we're going to do the exact same thing, but again mirrored, because this is the other side. So we're going to take the outermost string, which is the same color, separate the first 2 threads, and do 2 backward knots onto each of these threads. This next thread here, we're going to be doing a forward knot instead. Then again, separating 3 more threads, we're going to be doing backward knots onto each of these 3 threads. And here we're going to be doing 1 forward knot. And now that we've reached the middle, we're going to take this same thread of the same color from the other side, and we're going to connect them in a forward or backward or whatever knot. Again, a knot between 2 threads of the same color can be whatever knot. It's going to end up the exact same, so it doesn't matter. And that is literally it. There is literally just 1 row to this pattern that you have to repeat over and over and over again. So I'm going to show it to you one more time just to make sure that everything is understood, but that is literally it. So, one more time, we're going to separate the thread on the side. We're going to separate 2 extra threads for it. On the left, since we're going into the center, we're going to be doing 2 forward knots. Followed by 1 backward knot with the next thread. Next, we're going to separate 3 more threads, forward knots onto these 3 threads. Then with this one, we're going to be doing a backward knot onto this thread. Putting the left side off to the side, focusing on the right side, the same exact thing but mirrored, separating the first thread and 2 more threads. Doing 2 backward knots onto each of these 2 threads. Separating the next thread and doing a forward knot. Separating 3 extra threads and doing backward knots onto each of them. And then the last thread, we're going to be doing a forward knot. And now that we're in the middle, we're doing a knot connecting the 2 threads. Again, for the middle, it can be any knot since the 2 threads are the exact same color. And there, you can kind of start seeing the pattern forming already. So this is literally all you have to do. There is just 1 row that you repeat in the entire pattern. So I'm now going to go into making this pattern, and I'll catch up with you once I'm done. And there you have it. That's how you create this beautiful distorted chevron bracelet. I really enjoyed making this pattern. It's really easy to make and it's super fun, and I think the effect of the bracelet looks really, really cool. So as you can see, I did the ends with simple triangle ends and twisted ties, and I have separate tutorials for both of those topics if you want to check them out. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something new. If you ever make anything based on any of my videos, I always love to see your guys' posts on Instagram. Just don't forget to tag me in the actual post so I can see it. If you're watching this video close to its release date, there is currently a competition happening, and this is one of the bracelets that you can win in my competition. So this bracelet will be randomly assigned to somebody who entered my competition. If you want to know more about my competition, I'll leave the link to the video where I talk about it in the description. So once again, I want to shout out my Patreons. Thank you very much for your support. And if you too want to become one of my patrons, it's the best way to support the channel, and the link is in the description if you want to check it out. So thank you guys very much for watching. I post videos on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye!